People are always trying to tell me what I will and won't like, suggesting to me this or that flavor of the week ad nausea. In the end, I never bother with any of it, and I'm sure it's pretty frustrating. Probably not anymore though, because most people have just given up. It's not a problem with the individual programs though, and it never was. It's a problem with pop at large. First is the undeniable tendency of Hollywood today to avoid writing original stories and instead just rewrite old screenplays. I think Red Letter Media has some exact statistic for the percentage of movies made today that are just rewrites, and I remember seeing it and being staggered. But I don't remember the number. Sorry. Something else Hollywood really loves are stories written around fan service. Rogue One and Jurassic World come to mind. I actually like Jurassic World though. Ain't seen Rogue One and never will. Before we dissect that though, let's first talk about Plato. I promise this will be meaningful soon. So Plato. Plato was a consummate cool guy. I mean, he is the guy, honestly, as far as Western Civ is concerned. If ever anyone was deserving of a tilted ball cap, blunt and shades, it's Plato. Plato said and taught a lot of cool stuff, and I don't even know the half of it. Perhaps no one does. I'm well aware as well that I'm preparing now to use what I learned from him to defend an institution he spoke out against. Fiction. Irony is delicious though, so whatever. When I think about Hollywood, I think about Plato's concepts of ideals, as well as his cave of perception deprivation. Hollywood can pour all the millions they care to in production, but no amount of money can save characters from the obscuring effect of the cave. See, while Plato was mostly concerned with ideal versions of actual things, a perfect tree, a perfect circle, I'm talking here now about perfect characters. Like anything perfect, really the first stipulation here is that achievement of the sought-after ideal in an earthly medium is impossible. It's a target you aim at, though hopeless to hit, held only in your mind. I think in the past, many authors, writers, tellers of tales, aimed for these forms. It has since become a lost art. While it wouldn't be right to say any one writer ever achieved a completely faithful representation of any one character ideal, some perhaps have gotten within inches of the bullseye. Jean Valjean, the civilized man. Rhett Butler, the hyper-masculine man. Masculinity incarnate. And these are two different concepts to me. I'll maybe put flesh on those bones later. See, in Plato's cave, for all those unfamiliar, Plato, wise as he was, didn't shy away from obscure and bizarre torture, chaining his subjects to immobilize them and forcing them to see the world only as shadowy projections on the wall of the cave. You could never really know a thing in this cave, because you only saw its outline. But you could think you knew it. Pursuing ideals of character in the players of your story is like positioning their figure further from the light, but closer to the wall. You get a darker and sharper outline. You get more detail and less blurring around the edges. Hollywood is taking to pursuing these sort of figures with single sentences. I suppose it might be a product of many of these writers being groomed and prepped to write commercially. You know, maybe the producer says he wants a really despicable male villain. In school, the writers are probably taught tropes to slot into that role to fulfill such a mandate. In Batman vs. Superman, what is Lex Luthor? On the surface, I suppose, a Machiavellian. But Batman vs. Superman needed to be a big Hollywood blockbuster with lots of explosions and choreographed fight scenes and whatnot. So everything he does becomes manipulation to save time. In this way, he becomes what is essentially an algorithm. His humanity and any ability for the audience to consider him is lost in the Hollywood need to fill the movie with explosions. Luthor is standing far, far behind characters like Thénardier, did I say that right? Or Uriah Heep. It's funny how Uriah is so infinitely more hateable than someone like Luther as a manipulative bastard, even when he is infinitely more mundane in his pursuits. Luther just comes off as psychotic. Heap is more truly sinister. Luther, and characters like Luther, don't even warrant allusion to these literary figures, though. The frustrating thing is, villainous Machiavellians of superb quality and construction have existed in the medium he appears in. Hyman Roth in Godfather 2 comes to mind. Even inside the same sort of fantasy sci-fi genre, the Emperor, Darth Sidious. He clearly takes a great deal of joy in hurting people, and draws a lot of motivation from that, but he's also visibly involved in the pursuit and maintenance of power. It's more than just a sick game, and he never leaves himself truly defenseless, however much he works to give the appearance of being so. This is maybe inconsequential to your average consumer. It must be, because Hollywood still makes money. But for me, it's one of those once you see it things. I can't help but compare them, and it turns what would be compelling characters into camp. It begs the question when I see such a work, if I, as someone interested in continuing the pursuit of these ideals, fleshing them in words, is not wasting their time watching these shadow plays. It's why it's so hard for people to drag me to the movies. There's also difficult questions of art here, too. How often should we be receptive of just pure entertainment, of screen-friendly unit shifter? This is going on so much now, we can turn these PG-13s into pornos without ever even flashing a titty. Corporatism strikes again, Ming. It's bad shit. The art of theater becomes the industry of entertainment. And now here comes something I'm really going to butcher the pronunciation of, but... Ceterum sciencio livulium esse delendum.